We have some more NHL trades to discuss now, including Derrick, Brassard, Adam McQuaid, as well as a few other minor deals as well. We'll get into all the latest coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. I mentioned we do have some more deals to discuss here on NHL Trade Deadline Day, February the 25th, 2019, including Derrick Brassard, who has been traded yet again, this time going from the Florida Panthers over to the Colorado Avalanche. Now, he does go with a conditional 6th-round pick as well. That condition is if he re-signs with Colorado, they no longer receive the pick. So that's the condition attached to that. Going back the other way to the Florida Panthers as a 2020 third-round selection. So obviously the Colorado Avalanche are a team that is trying hard to get back into the playoffs for the second straight year. They certainly got off to a fantastic start, and then had a massive cool-down period, and things are kind of coming back together. So they're kind of hoping Derrick Brassard will add a little bit more of a veteran presence and kind of help things go here a little bit down the stretch and try to secure a playoff spot. Obviously, some of their younger players like Alex Kerfoot, Tyson Jost haven't had a terrific season, and many feel that maybe they're being asked to do too much, and their secondary scoring just hasn't been quite where it needs to be. They've had times where their goaltending has been, not the greatest as well, but it's been better as of late as well. So hopefully this is a fairly low-risk move here for the Colorado Avalanche, picking up Brassard, add some experience here down the stretch, and hopefully he can help them get into the playoffs. Next up, the Columbus Blue Jackets have acquired defenseman Adam McQuaid. Columbus has been by far the busiest team here at the NHL trade deadline. We went into this thinking that guys like Panarin and Bobrovsky could be on the move, and instead they've done the exact opposite, bringing in several players to kind of boost themselves up for the playoffs and go on potentially on a deep playoff run and make their best foot forward here for the Stanley Cup. So Adam McQuaid brings a lot of experience on the blue line. It has been speculated they may look to add a defenseman, somebody especially with a lot of experience. They give up 2 draft picks going back to the New York Rangers, a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick. So for the 2019 NHL draft, I'm not even sure if Columbus is going to bother even showing up. They're pretty low on draft picks at this point. They've dealt away quite a bit, so they really better hope this playoff run works out for them. And with all these guys being pending UFA rental players coming in, that they can keep at least some of them, because they're really mortgaging their future quite a bit. This very well could backfire, so they better hope things work out. Otherwise, it could be all for nothing, but we'll see. But certainly another interesting move from the Blue Jackets. Now, as I mentioned, there's certainly some other deals to discuss here as well. You can call most of these remaining deals a little bit minor deals, but they're still, could potentially end up being significant. We did have a trade between the Montreal Canadiens and the Arizona Coyotes here yet again. A 1-for-1 deal with Michael Chaput going from Montreal over to Arizona in exchange for Jordan Wheel. Now, Chaput's a player that with the Habs has certainly been kind of mentioned in trade rumors off and on here over the last number of weeks. The Habs have had a lot of extra forwards that they've been considering moving out between Chaput, Charles Soudan, at times not in the lineup on a regular basis. So this does not come as a huge surprise that they've been able to trade him. I think Jordan Wheel will be a good fit in Montreal. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but he's very quick, and I think will fit well with the group of forwards that they have going there. So we'll see how that works out. But a fairly low-risk minor deal. Obviously, the last time we saw the Canadiens and Coyotes hook up, we saw a trade for Domi and Galchenyuk this summer, and obviously that deal has worked out quite nicely for Domi in Montreal. So I'm sure Mark Bergevin is hoping the same for Jordan Wheel, who started the year with the Flyers and now is on to his 3rd team here in less than a year's time. So Jordan Wheel to the Montreal Canadiens. We'll see how that works out. Now, we also had a trade that happened late last night as well that I forgot to mention in an earlier video between Ottawa and Anaheim. Anaheim's traded forward Brian Gibbons to the Senators in exchange for minor league defenseman Patrick Seeloff. Seeloff's one of the weaker defensemen on the American Hockey League team in Belleville. He's the one thing he's known for is he's the guy that helped give one of the concussions to Clark MacArthur and knocked him out during the training camp when he was trying to make an impression for himself, I guess. But either way, that's kind of what he's most known for in Ottawa, is never really get any NHL action. Don't expect him to really ever turn into an NHL defenseman. And of course, with all the moves going on with the Senators, Gibbons gives him another NHL body who can kind of fill a spot in the lineup for the remainder of the season. He is a pending unrestricted free agent as well. We also saw a deal go down between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. The Hurricanes have traded prospect Cliff Pooh, who was the player they got in from the Buffalo Sabres in the Jeff Skinner trade, over to the Florida Panthers. with the Florida Panthers sending prospect Thomas Jurco the other way. Now, Jurco's a player I'm kind of surprised hasn't really worked out in the NHL. Had a terrific junior career. Looked like he was going to, be a pretty decent middle six winger in the NHL, but he certainly has bounced around quite a bit. Been with a number of organizations here in recent years, and he will report to the Carolina American Hockey League affiliate. So Cliff Pu, was not that long ago, was considered a pretty good prospect, by the Buffalo Sabres. The Hurricanes accepted him in that Jeff Skinner trade, and now they're giving him away for somebody who's not likely ever going to become a regular NHL player. He's only played in a handful of games here and there in the last few years, so certainly a questionable move by the Hurricanes. Not going to make much impact either way, but certainly he's only 20 years old. He has had a pretty rough first pro season after completing his junior career last year. I think he had 1 goal in 44 games or something like that in the American Hockey League. So a tough transition year for Cliff Pu, but he's still young enough that he could certainly bounce back and hopefully become some variation of what he was expected to be when he was drafted. So we'll see if Florida can help turn him into any kind of NHL player here down the road. That is all your news for right now. There's certainly still lots of big names out there that could very well be traded. We might be back with all kinds of bigger news, or there could be other players dealt. So certainly stay tuned for additional content coming your way later this afternoon as we approach the deadline. We're just over 1 hour away as I record this video. So stay tuned for all the news. We'll be back when the trades break. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. Give this video a thumbs up before you go as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.